So we'll see how this goes.
For sure.
This new app.
You didn't have to do anything different to your audio quality or anything like that. You just had to install the app. Then it's going to the background.
Install it, and then I had to sync it to Dropbox so that it like uploads to Dropbox. Cool. I guess
that makes sense.
It'll be okay. Yeah.
What's the app called?
Call Note.
Call Note. Okay. I just use something called MP3 Skype Recorder, but like you mentioned, it's only for Windows. So.
Right. That's the trouble. That's the trouble with it. I am on my other computer though, because I didn't want to upload that onto my main writing computer.
I see.
Oh, hopefully that doesn't affect the audio. Oh well, we'll find out.
We're gonna find out as we go along, because that's how we do.
Playing it fast and loose.
Loose and fast.
No, I don't like it.
Just because I reversed it, that made it weird?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
It's that simple.
So yeah. What's new with you?
Nothing.
End of the show. That's
it. I got an A on my final.
Congratulations.
I had on Monday. That's good.
Dope as hell. Congrats.
It's looking like 3 A's and a B for this semester, but it might be 2 and 2.
That's great. I didn't doubt you for 1 second. I knew you could do it.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that environmental science that's like was killing me. So, I mean, all the papers that I had to write too. It's boring, but whatever.
I'm curious how the Judaism class went. Like, did that turn out how you wanted it to?
Yeah. Yeah. It was more philosophy and things of that nature, like that we were reading about. Mm-hmm. I expected more studying of like religion within the class, but it was like more, so he had fiction and nonfiction within the context of the whole class. And so some of the readings were like crazy German philosopher type of things. That was just like ramblings, or this guy's idea of what like the, Israel, what would eventually become Israel, but like a Jewish state would be, or things like that. And then some of it was like I told you, I read Mouse. So like, this is a biographical, and then some of it were short stories. It was all mixed in, but I thought it would be a little bit more of like day-to-day religious practices and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It was a good, like, it was an interesting class, but yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how you made it sound when you were getting into it too, like it was going to be more religion stuff.
Yeah, and it was like a lot of philosophy about Judaism by Jewish writers and philosophers. So that was a big part of it.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I'm glad you did well. That's cool.
Yeah. I feel good about it. I'm glad to be on a break right now.
Yeah. I think this time of year especially, it's easy to get distracted with the holidays, and it's just easy to get into like that holiday funk that so many folks go through.
Right.
So I want to know from you, and of course from the listeners, like how do you get over the holidays? How do you get through the holidays? How do you make yourself not sink into that hole? Well, I guess I should ask too, before you even go down that path, like, do you find yourself like ever like circling the drain kind of?
When? During the holidays or ever?
Yeah, just during the holidays. Like specifically, do you like have holiday related like
bad things
sadness?
Always happen to me around the holidays, which is why my friends call me Tiny Tim, because I still believe in like, yay, Christmas and everything like that. I just stopped caring a long time ago. I think not a long time ago, but within the past couple of years, I don't put as much pressure on holidays, and it makes them easier to deal with.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, I don't really. I get bummed out around like my birthday because I'm like, ugh, another year. All right. But and then like New Year's, I kind of get that way. But I don't really have a lot of problems with Christmas or holidays like that.
Yeah.
I just don't. I kind of have reached the point where, especially in the past couple of years, where I'm like, I'm just kind of treating this like everything else. Like, whatever. It's just another day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's good that it doesn't get to you like that. I know for some people it does.
It's
for me,
too much pressure on it. That's why it gets so bad. Like, they think everything has to be perfect. They think they have to make a perfect dinner or get the perfect gift or get gifts at all or have X, Y, and Z figured out. It's like not like most of that stuff does not matter.
Mm-hmm.
So stop. Like, don't worry about like how your Instagram is going to look compared to other people or things like that. Just don't worry. Just stop. Like, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, yeah. And with that, you just described the Agretzko holiday special that's on Netflix from the Hello Kitty people. So
I don't even know what that is.
It's a little like I want to call it. Yeah, she's a red panda. She's one of Hello Kitty's friends, but she's the one that's got like the dark side. Like, she's an office worker by day. And she gets all anxious about everything in her environment because she's so soft-spoken. But then at night, she goes to the karaoke lounge and she sings like hard rock metal type music to let go of all of her anger. And yeah, it's the best thing that's come out of the Hello Kitty camp since the egg looking thing. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah.
I don't know if I remember seeing anything ever of Hello Kitty other than merchandise. I did not know it was a thing outside of merchandise to
That's
sell.
Interesting. I mean, well, yeah, not only is it merchandise, it's merchandise on everything, but there was an animated show. It was like Hello Kitty's Fairy Tales that was on when I was a kid.
I mean, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I've only ever known it as a thing that's on other things.
Like, that property is very protected in the way that they usually protect Mickey, where they don't want to sully the image, so they don't do anything, too risque or allow people to control it. But they've kind of loosened the reins a little bit with Mickey Mouse, and they've definitely done that with Hello Kitty. So much so that they put Hello Kitty's image on massagers and stuff in Japan. But that's a whole different story for another time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't get it, man. It's interesting because every other person I meet is a Hello Kitty fan, but it kind of just ends there. It's like people like the visage, they like the image of Hello Kitty.
Right. That's what I mean. Like, that's what it's always been. And I don't really know a lot of people that like Hello Kitty either. Or maybe I just don't ask. I don't know.
It's not something that comes up commonly in conversation either. I've been surprised by some people too. Like, even in my family, like my aunt, she's like an architect and she's like one of those people who's like an adult and you can't remember her being anything but grown, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she's got a little Hello Kitty wallet when she opens up her purse and she squeezes and everything. It's so funny. Like, that's the thing.
Huh.
That's the thing that gets her.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and everybody's got their something. I'm not harsh in that at all.
Yeah.
It's just the people who are interested in Hello Kitty would surprise you. Well, they surprise me anyway, because it's just like, oh, you like Hello Kitty? Interesting. Okay, cool. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Agretzko is a different thing altogether. They really just, introduce this character, because they roll out these characters every now and then just to put on new merchandise. And they introduced Agretzko, and it was kind of floundering, but then Netflix is like, hey, we see potential here. Let's develop a show. Let's co-produce this anime about this character. It's a little short 30-minute episodes, but it's very I don't know, it's charming and it's got a story. So it's something different for them.
Yeah, I can't get into anime. I've tried. It's just not I'm good, cool. I just don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. It feels like I should.
I keep, and it's not something that I obsess over, because I do enjoy anime occasionally, but I always try to think, what can I recommend to you, knowing what you like, knowing what your tastes are? What can I recommend to you that'll get you on board? And really, I haven't encountered it yet. But when I do,
Avatar.
Yeah.
Is that anime?
That's anime light. I mean, it's still Western, or it's originated in the West, but
It's like Star Wars for like sci-fi fantasy. Like, yeah, of course, everyone likes that. You know?
Right. But it's definitely got that Western ideal attached to it. And as much as it like has a beginning and an end too, you know.
Right. That was one of the things I really loved about that show. It was a complete story.
Absolutely. You know? Yeah. And it's like, it's the opposite problem that like, BBC shows have, where it's like, oh, I really like this show. Oh, great. You better enjoy it because it's only 6 episodes long and then it's gone forever.
I am starting to appreciate that a little bit more though. Like as we've gotten so much content over the particularly the past couple of years where you're like, oh my God, there's too much to watch. It's kind of nice to be like, I can watch this in, a weekend.
Yeah.
At that.
But the downside to the BBC stuff and the British stuff is like, okay, they have the 6 episode series, they end it, but then 5 years later they come back and say, hey, let's check in on Luther. Let's see what he's been up to. And you're like, shit. That's weird. That's right. I really like Luther. Oh man, I can't remember what happened on the last one. And they expect you to know like exactly what went down. Like, oh yeah,
That definitely is a weird thing that they do. Their scheduling is very strange.
Absolutely. Yeah. I remember I was deep into IT Crowd when that was a thing,
Yeah. And, I've seen a couple episodes of that, John. It was pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. And, those actors have gone on and done incredible things after the fact too. Like all of them. Basically from top to bottom. But, it was one of those shows that just like took time off and then they were like, oh, we're doing a reunion. But it's not a reunion. It's just series 5. And here we are. Or this is the Christmas special. That's another thing they do too. It's like the Christmas special. And then they
love that though. I love that. I think that they should be doing that with shows like The Office or whatever.
Well, that was what I was thinking of too. The UK Office though. Like they could just have like the Christmas special and then that'd be it for another year.
Right, but that's a great way to keep that stuff going without, completely reviving it and having to bring everyone back and for a whole thing.
That's true.
I mean, would you rather see, some of these revivals that haven't gone well of shows where it's like, they didn't think this through, or, just have, this nice hour-long episode?
Well, the lines are blurring a little bit, too, now, because I did see that something that you and I both enjoyed last year is coming back again, which is that Norman Lear project that he's doing with Jimmy Kimmel live in front of a studio audience.
Oh, really? Is it? I didn't hear about this.
So it's coming back. They're doing, last time they did, what was it? All in the Family and the Jeffersons. Yeah. This time they're doing another All in the Family episode with the original cast returning, but they're swapping out the Jeffersons for Good Times. And they haven't announced who the cast is for that yet, but it's on next week on the 18th.
Wait, already?
Exactly.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and all they've done is announce guest stars for the All in the Family segment. They're gonna have Michael Eisenberg is gonna be on there, right? That's his name, Eisenberg. Yeah, Jesse Eisenberg, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
because I guess that cast is just ready to go then for All in the Family. That's nuts.
Right, but they haven't said boo about who's gonna be in Good Times.
That is weird. Yeah, that's very weird. I don't understand that.
I don't even know where they would pull from in the Good Times, lore. Would they go with the beginning? Would they go after James left the show or he died or whatever?
I don't think they'd go there.
I don't know, man. Just assume, she's a single parent now. That's where we're at, guys.
Oh my God, that'd be rough.
It would be, because it's there were episodes of Good Times that were just sad. Just straight up, just damn.
I mean, the same thing with,
damn. Okay.
Yeah, the same thing with, All in the Family. There were some of those episodes oh my God.
Yeah.
This is rough.
That was very much during the period of a very special episode, So,
do you remember the episode of All in the Family? We don't have to get too far into this, but do you remember there was an episode of All in the Family where, and this might have been 2 separate episodes, but I think it was a cross burning in Archie's lawn type of thing. And then there was a swastika painted on his door or something like that.
I don't remember that.
It was some intense shit. That show had rough stuff going down at times.
Well, that's who Jesse Eisenberg is playing. He's going to be a Nazi and a Klan member. And I don't know.
I'd be shocked at all if
no.
they didn't do that episode.
I mean, we're talking about a man who's played Lex Luthor. You know, it's just, hey, it's all uphill from there.
Yeah.
So.
He was the worst Lex Luthor.
I kind of think so. But then again, Kevin Spacey's in the mix, so it's hard. It's a hard choice.
Yeah, Kevin Spacey was pretty bad, and he's a rapist. Yeah, so Kevin Spacey can have that award.
Right.
Mess up my mic thing. It's bothering me.
Don't do that.
Does it sound weird?
No, you sound fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just be my adjustments. Anyway, that was fun inside baseball, guys.
Let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's totally. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's talk about getting this show started. You said let's talk about racists.
I said crisis. Oh my god.
I'm like, shit, this is gonna be a hard episode. No. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas, everybody. We're gonna talk about.
Let's talk about racism, guys.
Welcome to the show, everybody. This is Lex and Matt's Excellent Adventure. Thank you guys for tuning in once again. Yeah. I hope everybody is getting everything they need done at this time of year for all your holiday needs. Because definitely you want to get your family t-shirts and tchotchke based on a podcast that only you listen to. Check out our Threadless shop. You can find the links at lexandmattpod.com. To all of that, our social media, follow us on there, give us a rating on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, whatever you're using over there, because that stuff matters. So thank you.
That matters. The downloads matter.
The downloads, the Patreon, my goodness, all that stuff. Show us some love.
Yeah. Do the thing.
Anyway, I'm one of your hosts. I'm Matt Peters, and I'm joined by Lex Lutz as always. And,
hello.
Yes, hello. We're here to talk about some happy shit. So forget everything we said before.
Racists on Infinite Earths.
we got racers. We got lots of racers and maybe not some racists. I don't know. I don't judge. Yeah, I do. What am I saying? Of course I
was going to say. I feel like this is a case where you should judge, but.
Yeah, this is one of those rare cases where, fucking punch a Nazi.
Just a little bit, bud.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
So you want to get right into crisis right away, huh?
I feel like we should, because we're also doing a mini episode and we don't know how long. Whatever. That's, once again, guys, inside baseball.
Inside baseball.
Anyway, I just want to talk about Crisis, too. It was so packed.
Man.
And we should, fair warning, we're going all out spoilers, because I don't feel like dancing around it for this. So if you haven't watched Crisis, you care about spoilers, pause us, go watch Crisis, and then come back and listen to the rest of the episode.
That's one thing. You may be thinking to yourself right now, hey, I have to catch up on all 5 or 6 of these CWDC shows. I can't watch Crisis. Trust me, you don't have to. You can watch, even if you are familiar with the characters, you're
don't watch
be
any
fine.
of it. You're fine.
You're fine.
I'm 3 years behind on every single show. No,
let me tell you,
it's tough to keep up with them.
Well, that's point number 1 for me. So far, I am really impressed with the way that they subtly slide in little plot details about what's going on these individual shows, just to get you up to speed. so you can watch the show and still enjoy and understand the weight of the decision that the characters are making. The only thing that kind of threw me off a little bit, the only thing that I think I needed to look up, was the whole thing with, Oliver's daughter, Mia.
Right.
That
her story, or
just where the hell she came from.
Oh, isn't she from the future?
She's from not only the future, but she's from an alternate timeline.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So she's
they've been having fun with these timelines and alternate Earths. So
right.
Makes sense.
What's funny too is I have been keeping up with
But
Flash.
she is Felicity, both of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's
because she seems like a perfect mix of the two of them.
Right. That's their co-daughter. So, Felicity, the actress that plays her, I can't remember her name offhand, but she was notably absent from this whole thing.
Well, they haven't done the Arrow episode yet.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just weird that she wouldn't even like pop up. She was mentioned, she was referenced. The Watcher, not the Watcher, the Monitor. He was basically just saying like, I recruited her to get her help in translating this tome and stuff like that. And it's like, cool. Can we check in on her? Can you give us a little cut over? See how she's doing? Nope.
Is she not dead?
No, she's around.
I don't remember.
No, she's around. No, the actress has left the show.
Track. Yeah, what's the name of the actress again? God damn.
Man, I don't know. I'm bad at this. Okay. Yeah. So that's one thing. That's one thing that kind of got under my skin a little bit. Felicity Smoak.
Emily Bett Rickards.
Okay. Yeah.
No, Rickards.
So it's the couple that I'm rooting for, but I never want to see them live happily ever after.
Why? This people say this shit all the time about couples on shows, and I'm always like, why?
Well, it's a little different for me. Like, I totally get it, and I understand where you're coming from with that point, but
Felicity is in hiding, is the current state.
Right. Her and William, Oliver's son.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not that it's like, oh yeah, it's gonna make the show boring and shit like that. It's like we saw them living happily ever after at one point. Do you remember this when they were in that little fake town when they both retired and they left Star City to the rest of Teen Arrow, and it was basically like a Williams-Sonoma catalog from the life.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh shit, if this is how they end up, if this is what their life is like, I am not interested.
You're not going to watch all of that. Just like you don't want to watch a whole show of the Smallville Superman now, like the Smallville Clark, which we'll get into in a few minutes. But like, you're not going to watch a whole show about that. Like,
I want to counterpoint that, like, because that at least is a little interesting. Like Clark dealing with like small town issues. It'll be like a One Tree Hill or a Gilmore Girls at that point, Like I feel like him and Erica Durance could carry a show.
No, I agree, but we're talking about like the hero not being a hero anymore kind of thing. So
yeah,
I understand. I'm like, all right. So I guess this is what's confusing.
Okay.
So Mia is born, and the Monitor came to help get Oliver to help save the multiverse.
Right.
So, and then it says Felicity is in hiding with Mia. So is this like she's in hiding with the baby?
Right.
But like they brought the adult baby?
They brought the adult from the future somehow. Yeah, that's kind of where I got turned around. Because
I still don't understand.
They're at the point where, like Lost, they're now doing the Flash sideways sort of deals, I guess.
Right.
So we're seeing some type of dystopian future with
Lost was not confusing though. So.
Right. Well, to the common person, yes, but to you,
no,
obviously not.
No. It wasn't, but okay.
Sure. Yeah, like it was just it's weird. I don't know. All I know is that we I'm sorry, there's stuff falling.
Okay.
There's a lot going on right now.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, all right. Okay, so, yeah, I don't know, man. For them in particular, we've seen what it is like when they have their happily ever after. I don't want to see that ever again. I mean, the idea that Oliver and Felicity would just, like, retire and stuff like that, those two characters in particular, I don't want to see that. I like seeing them as a partnership fighting crime. Like, that's cool. I like them as a couple doing that. That's dope.
Yeah, that's the problem that I have. It's like this idea that they can't be a couple doing that.
Right.
I don't understand why because like I feel like the Barry and Iris relationship has completely broken this idea that heroes can't have a spouse.
Yeah.
Because I've always hated that for years. They pull that shit all the time, like they did on Smallville, like as much as I love Smallville and everything. They kept doing that, and I'm like, this doesn't make sense.
Oh, you know my secret. And knowing my secret's going to put you in danger, so I can't have that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're already in danger because they're in your life.
Right. And the world is a dangerous place.
Right.
So that's
anything
just
to put anyone in danger.
I mean, really, the whole thing, especially with like Lois, right? Lois is gonna get in trouble because she is nosy. That's her job. She's a reporter.
The times that Lois got into trouble were just on her own. Like, it had nothing to do with Clark.
Well, you know what? I'll even put the cherry on top of that. The reason that Lois had to work so hard as a reporter is because her husband was setting unattainable goals to get these stories as Superman, writing about Superman as Clark Kent. She had to work like fucking 4 times as hard as that to get these type of stories. So if anybody's to blame, it's Clark.
I'll give them credit too, as far as now we need to see the Superman show. But I really like that in this universe that they've created, Lois and Clark are in it together.
Yes.
Like, completely together. They don't have any problems, like, other than, like, normal problems.
Right.
They are married. Like, they have a kid. They're cool. So I give them credit for extending that Barry Iris type of relationship into Lois and Clark, who should be together. Like, that's... Yeah. Don't come at me with that Wonder Woman shit. Don't.
No, I mean, that's, you know what? And the thing about it is, and this crossover should, you know, verify all of that. Like, there's space for everything. If you don't like Lois with Clark, you can read books and see stuff with Lois, or rather, I was going to say Lois and Wonder Woman. They haven't made that yet. But you can see stuff. With, you can see stuff with Superman and Wonder Woman if you want to. It exists, you know? But in this particular show, we have Lois and Clark steady, got a baby, doing things. This is, and to me, the actress that's playing Lois on Supergirl is like the most likable Lois so far. I think she's got, you know,
Erica Durance. But
I like Erica Durance, but she's not likable. Like, she's very kind of just like, I got you. You know, so it's like a little bit, I don't know, like smarmy in a lot of ways. You know, like she's still spunky and up and coming and just like doing her thing. Well, this Lois is like settled in her tenure, and I like that. You know, a little bit more mature.
Oh, okay. I can, because she's supposed to be they're supposed to be a little bit older than what the Lois and Clark were in Smallville. So I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I do like this Lois. I really want to see a Superman show now. Now, this cross, I was kind of about it before, but now that this Crisis crossover has completely sold me on a Superman show, I need to see this show. Like, when they put Jonathan into that ship and sent him away.
Yeah.
Mirroring how Clark was sent away and like his own parents and everything like that. I was losing it. Like, I was like, oh my God, it was sad. I didn't expect him to hit me that hard so early.
And we don't know how it's going to end. I mean, anything is possible at this point because the stakes matter. We have Mark Guggenheim. We have Marv Wolfman, who wrote the original Crisis.
Right.
Behind the scenes, like figuring out what's going to happen here. All these showrunners have come together. It's anybody's game at this point. I mean, we know that certain people's contracts are expiring and certain people are, you know, coming on and everything like that, and they're going to stick around. But when it comes to where they're going to end up, and, you know, that's the only thing. I hope that they don't try to reboot Superman for this show using Crisis. Because I like what they've already built. I can ease your mind a little bit with that. Because with the Superman spinoff, they're attempting to cast a teen boy around the age between 10 and 14 as their son. Oh. So they're going to find a way to age him. If anything, we're going to get a little bit further in the future. That's awesome. I'm like what is it? The latest Rebirth books of Superman, which is some of the best Superman stories I've read, like hands down. That good. I was like shocked. I'm like, oh, you understand Superman? Okay, this is great. That's good. I'm very, very intrigued by that. I am too. Like, my only complaint about this whole Crisis thing is the fact that it's hard to make Tyler Hoechlin look like the shit when he's right next to Brandon Routh, and Brandon Routh's all like doing the pose and just super cut and tall.
God. And Brandon Routh, yes, but real quick, Tom Welling is like even bulkier than he was when he was playing Superman. I was shocked by that. Like,
me too.
He's giant. I mean, they acknowledge it too. Like they're like, holy shit, okay. But yeah, I agree. It's tough. Brandon Routh is the classic idea of what we think Superman looks like.
Right.
With the exception of his eyes. They do that weird, they put those weird contacts in. I'm like, I hate this. I don't like fake contacts like that.
I mean, even the stuff that Brandon Routh was saying, just like, I gotta keep fighting because this is what I do. And just real, just like gung-ho and shit. Like, that's the type of Boy Scout you expect to be Superman.
Yeah.
Tyler is just like, I'm part of the team. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I do think that they're going to have to incorporate more of the Boy Scout into the TV show. And I think a way that they can do that with the crossover is to have his Superman be very inspired by this alternate Superman.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like, he can kind of look to him and go, oh yeah, that's the man that I should be. And, look up to him in a way. Cause he's an older Clark as well. So like, it's almost like it could be like a fatherly figure at the same time. Mm-hmm. Something to aspire to. One thing I really always liked about, this is getting really deep in the Superman lore, but like, one thing I always really loved about Smallville was how they incorporated this idea that Jor-El was not a good person. Mm-hmm. And that it was a battle with destiny and becoming like your father / your race, that they weren't the kind of person that you were raised to be by the people who found you. And like this conflicting between the family and this other family that you were born to but don't actually know. And I always like that struggle. So I think if they kind of incorporate the idea of, okay, he's kind of struggling with making sure that to me, it's Superman isn't just automatically a Boy Scout. Like, that's why I think people don't understand him. He's just like a normal person who's struggling to do good and be good within a very gray world.
Well, let's not get too far.
Well, he's just very good at like being strong, like in his values. True.
And we've discussed that before. So let's not go down the Superman path too much. Let's talk about Crisis a little bit more. I was impressed that they actually had some people on the writing team for the Smallville cameo that were writers on the original Smallville show. So that is as authentic as a reunion as you're ever going to get.
Yeah. Did they not have? I feel like they don't have Smallville writers on that show already. I don't know enough about the writers. I feel bad.
No, really, like writers, people in the writing room who aren't like showrunners don't get nearly as much credit as like, the main producers and showrunners and stuff like that. So, I can't tell you anybody who worked on Lost besides like Damon Lindelof and Carlton Cuse and J.J. Abrams, of course, and that's pretty much it.
Oh God, what's his name? Shit.
If you say it, I'm just going to believe you because I don't have a
Jeff Johns.
Oh, Jeff Johns wrote for Lost as well?
I'm like 99% sure. Let me look it up.
Oh, you know what? I think you're right because they had that Green Lantern comic in there.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, just kind of like as a nod to him. All right, so that makes sense. So, Crisis, who were you most surprised by so far as cameos go?
I'm going to be honest. Next, no one. Because they've announced all of these.
Yeah.
So it's really just when are they going to be there and how much are they going to be there? I think that they could have... They could have been better at that.
Oh, just keeping that close to the vest?
Yeah, I think so.
I was surprised by Lucifer, honestly, because the actor that plays him like straight up denied denied
Oh,
that he was
really?
not going to be in it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Saying,
when he showed up, I was like, oh, I guess he's in it. By the way, I was wrong. It's Jeff Loeb. Jeff Loeb was a
Jeff
writer
Loeb. Okay, that makes
on
sense.
Lost.
Yeah.
And then obviously Smallville.
Okay. Yeah. So I was surprised that that Lucifer Morningstar was there.
Yeah. I ended up being surprised by that. Yeah, I was surprised. Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking of Constantine. I wasn't surprised by Constantine. I was surprised by Lucifer. And especially, like, the properties are different with that. So It's kind of like how Supergirl was on another network and, you know, like, can they actually make this work? So that was interesting.
Yeah. Oh, that was Tom Ellis is the actor that plays him. So, yeah, being a Netflix actor, I wasn't expecting to see him over there. Speaking of which, the other one that... Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I think it's in its last season now. I think the last season is in production or either just came out. But I was also surprised that they found a way to put the Titans in there because that was like, no one said anything about that at all.
No, they did. They said
really?
that. Yeah, they did.
Okay.
They did. They announced that.
But I mean, they're not in it. They just use like some footage from the scrapped season finale of the first Titans season to put them in there. But I remember
reading about that.
Okay. All right. I must have missed it, but that's cool that they managed to put them in there too, because like, I mean that they're just opening up the world so much, you know, just opening all these doors. And it's like, you never know what could happen now. And that's so cool, you know?
Yeah.
So we know that they're going to have to go back and reestablish some of these worlds. So right now, where it stands at the end of the third chapter of the crossover, we still got 2 left.
Yeah, I just found July. They said that they were going to be in. So like when they were doing all of these announcements and stuff, that they were like, oh yeah, they're going to appear in it, but like it's appearing in it.
Yeah. And that's fine. So, I mean, that's all we needed, really.
It's cool, though. Like, it is really cool that they did it. And I'm glad that it was a surprise for you. And if we weren't covering Crisis extensively, like we have been, I probably would have been surprised by quite a few of them, too. There were also quite a few of them that I was like, what is this? I would not have known had we not talked about, like the Birds of Prey one.
Yeah, I think everybody was scratching their heads with that one. And I was also thinking too, like with the Kevin Conroy appearance, like they did a great thing by letting you hear his voice first before he appeared on screen. I thought that was brilliant because as soon as you see him, my mind would have automatically gone to, oh shit, they got Lionel Luthor as Batman for some reason. Okay, because they look very similar.
Yeah, they do. What did you think of his appearance? Of his like character arc as Batman on
you know what?
Were you okay with it? Were you
I think they felt like they really had to put a twist on there. Because Batman in general.
Well, I feel the same way about the Tom Welling thing, by the way. Like they have to have the twist. That is the feeling with it. So
yeah, I mean you basically painted the picture. You put them in that like, look, you can't. He's not going to do this. It's not what the show is about. You just kind of like telegraphed that. They telegraphed that from jump. So we knew what was going on there. But the Kevin Conroy thing, there was some potential. I think there was a little bit more potential because this is his first time playing the character live. So it's like, he'll do anything. You know, he's just excited to be there. And they made him a Kingdom Come-esque version of Batman. And that was cool. But the whole twist of him being like a murderer, or even more so of a murderer, and just kind of being jaded at that point in order to, you know, I guess kind of kick Batwoman in the rear and just get her in motion. I thought that was interesting. Because it gave him something to do, and made him less of the usual Batman Deus Ex Machina, where it's like, oh, Batman's going to save the day because he's here, you know? So I feel like, Batman being in the mix for more than that would have overshadowed the whole thing.
Right.
So I'm kind of...
okay, so this is... I feel like you're perfectly describing kind of how I feel about the Smallville thing as well, which is like I kind of feel the same way about the Smallville one as I do about the Batman one. In that but I should preface this with saying, as I just went on a long rant about Superman, like I'm much more passionate about Smallville and Superman. However, I both like that they did something unexpected, but also feel a little bit weird about it.
Yeah, because it's what you wanted, you know? I think that's what it is, too. It's like, selfishly, I would have wanted more of Kevin Conroy.
Exactly, yeah.
But I knew that, like, they have literally so many characters and main actors to address and deal with. Because we haven't even addressed the elephant in the room here, which is like, in the first hour, they killed Ollie.
We haven't addressed the main story, but let's keep talking. Let's talk about these two cameos, and then we can get into like the like actual meat of the show.
Okay.
Because, well, actually, no, that's right. Sorry, my brain's going. Okay, we watched these 3 episodes and we delayed the podcast so that we could talk about all 3 episodes. But now I'm like, wait, which episode was it? So, like, I felt weird, and I messaged you about this, because we were talking while they were airing, which I found helpful, because I think it helped me remember a little bit more. I was almost like, I shouldn't talk to Matt about it, but I was like, I have to during these episodes. I felt a little bit weird. I was like, it was almost like bittersweet happiness about the Smallville conclusion.
Yeah.
Because Clark doesn't have powers, and I was messaging you about this, and he gave up his powers.
Right.
For his family.
Which we don't know how or why that happened. We just don't know
any details of it. We don't know when. And while I was super happy that he was in love and had daughters, and that made my heart very happy for Clark.
Yeah.
And I understood why he, even though we don't know the circumstances, why he would sacrifice for that. I also was like, fucking Lex is president, and the world still needs Superman, and you just left.
Right.
Like, you just left them.
Right.
And that kind of fucked with me a little bit.
Well, we do know a couple things with that. One, there are so many other heroes on this planet. By the time his story finished, we had a Justice League or a Teen Titans, whatever you want to call it, at that point, to kind of pick up some of the weight, you know? We know that there are characters specific to the Smallville universe that can help and that sort of thing too. Yeah. We also don't know if he lost his powers by choice, like he lost them and then just didn't try to get them back.
They seem to imply that it was a choice.
Yeah. I did
kind of get... He
didn't
seem to care.
Right, he really didn't. And
he did not care. He was actually very happy.
It was almost like, it kind of felt like how people are now. It was like kind of just like an example or, a stand-in for, all right, this villain is president right now, but I got to keep living my life. So I guess I'll just keep doing this and try to be as happy as possible.
Baby. That's what kind of bothered me too, though. Where I'm like, bitch, you have to do something.
Right, please.
But okay, so and I kind of felt a little bit the same way about, but almost for other fans, I was like, man, are people going to be really upset that like they got Kevin Conroy to be Batman live action for the first time and they end up making him a psychopath villain? Like, is that gonna really just like be a knife in the heart to a bunch of people?
You know what? I would hope that people don't just shut the book that way.
I mean, I hope so too.
Well, and I say it because, you look at somebody like John Wesley Shipp and you're like, oh man, okay,
God,
so
his was the best cameo. Holy shit.
Yeah, so let me backtrack a little bit with John Wesley Shipp. John Wesley Shipp, for those that don't know, was the Flash on the 1990 series that unceremoniously just ended, but was one of my favorite. I mean, it was basically one of the only superhero shows out there of its kind at the time. I really dug it. A lot of people did. And when they brought him in, which is something that the CW shows do, they bring in the legacy cast of some stuff you remember and new roles. And so it was cool that they let him play Barry's dad for a while.
Right.
And then throughout the show's history, as we go to other dimensions and other universes and through time, John Wesley Shipp has played other characters as well, including Jay Garrick, with the classic costume from Earth.
And this one was Barry Allen.
Yeah,
right?
But in Earth 2, he was Jay Garrick. But in Earth 90, from Earth 90, which was a world that was destroyed in another crisis, I think the last one actually, he was that universe's Flash. He was our Flash from the 90s with that velvet ass speed suit that he has.
A terrible suit.
Oh, I loved it though. It just, it brought back all the feels. Like,
we did text each other about Barry's suit in Crisis and the current suit that Barry has, and like we both agreed this is the best suit he's ever had. Yeah,
because like 90s Barry, it's
Grant
like
Gustin, like Flash Barry,
But 90s Barry, his suit is so molded onto him. Like, this is a legit cow. Like he would have to vibrate into it every time. Like there's no other way.
Yeah.
Like I feel bad for for John Wesley Shipp, because it's like they got to sew him into it, and it's probably like a whole process if he's got to go to the bathroom or something. Yeah. But I digress. He had the best arc, and the fact that he got closure, and I don't. It was an emotional moment.
It was really great.
It was really great. And you think about it.
They played with us, just like with the Oliver twist. Son of a bitch.
They got you. This is all just a ploy. They got you.
That's the name of the fucking episode. God
the Oliver twist. Yes. I love it, dude. Okay.
Oh, God damn it.
But you're right. They did get us, because they think, I mean, they've been laying this out for the past 2 years on the Flash. Like since the beginning of the show.
To die in Crisis.
Right. Flash is missing. It was on the newspaper from like the far future, which at the time was 2020. And now here we are, a little bit early. We're old. It's a little early, but the crisis is going down, and like,
please don't remind me of Passage of Time. I'm not a fan.
Not interested. But yeah, Barry, all this last season has been dealing with the fact that he may just be gone. So he's anointed Vibe as like the new team leader of Team Flash, and he's had all these confrontations with people and being accused of just giving up when he just keep fighting and stuff like that. The usual stuff on TV shows when the character knows that they're gonna die, that they're living on borrowed time. And so for them to do this big twist like this and end up seeing our Barry lose not only himself in a way, but a man that looks just like his father.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was rough. And he's lost so much already. Like, it's just the layers of it, And
just like, you could hear the desperation in his voice from jump. And this is another example of why Barry and Iris are such a great couple.
Yeah.
Because you could see and you can understand Barry was visibly just unsure about himself from the beginning. Instead of like, doing the traditional, you've got to man up and get it done and sort of, Iris stepped up. She was going on missions with the other heroes. Like, look, I am in this stuff that Barry wasn't even around for. Like, she went to the other dimension to help out with the Superman issue and everything like that. She was just there. She belonged. She was present, and she was just a force to be reckoned with. And it just made you love Iris even more.
Yeah. Iris is she's the best, like, counterpoint for all of the heroes, right? Like we can agree. So Oliver's counterpoint would be Felicity. Kara's is Alex, her sister. Mm-hmm. Superman is Lois. Lois is his counterpoint. They're sisters.
Yeah.
I feel like Brandon Routh and White Canary, like, they're kind of...
The Legends are all some big polyamorous sort of thing going on in their own world, so that's fine. They're all each other's counterpoint.
Right.
Yeah. They even found a way to bring in Captain Cold and Heatwave, which I thought was dope.
So, like, Iris is by far the strongest of the bunch. Like,
and she's
her own character while simultaneously being a great partner.
Right.
And it's really well done.
Right. It was cool to see, because they brought in Black Lightning as well, and I don't want to gloss over that, because this is his first appearance in one of the big crossovers. His Earth got destroyed. They yanked him over to help out with a certain issue they were having before his Earth blew up.
Yeah.
And just hearing him talk to Barry and talk through what they were dealing with at the time, all the loss and all the need to continue on with what they're doing
Is
for the greater good.
Is he still alive at the end of this third episode? I can't remember.
No.
Okay.
The only people that are alive are our 7 Paladins? No. Paragons.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
right.
Our 6 Paragons and Lex.
Yeah, Lex, who made himself. How the fuck does that work? But okay.
I was telling D, because, there are certain iterations of Lex Luthor where it's like, okay, he's legitimately smart. Or, alright, well, he's just, there for comedic value, like on the old Superman movies or whatever. He's just an evil presence just to be there and to be, vamp around and chew up scenery, whatever. But John Cryer plays Lex Luthor like, not only is he smart, but he read the comic beforehand.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So much so where it's like, he's just going to try something and he knows it's going to work because he's in a comic book. He's like,
he seems to really understand.
Yeah. Like
he
gets how the universe works. And, they had the post show. They had a couple of episodes of the post show with Kevin Smith where he was talking to the actors and the production team. And, those are really well done too, by the way. So if you can go back and watch those, check those out.
Yeah.
And he's talking to John Cryer and John Cryer is just like, who I forgot was in Superman 4 as Lex Luthor's son.
I did too. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, completely whiffed. But he was like just a straight up, just like, just there for just to be, a problem. He was a problem child, basically. Full head of hair, So everything against, and he wasn't about like intelligence and defeating Superman. He just wanted to like live his life and be a punk,
Right.
But yeah, we get this version of Lex Luthor who seems like he just grew up from that Lex Jr., So yeah, it was kind of a cool take on the character. And as he was explaining, they didn't intend for him to continue to play Luthor for this long, but the audience loves him, so they just kept bringing him back.
Yeah, which I love. I love that they listen to people in that way. That's good. Yeah. That kind of stuff is good. So, Oliver's storyline. So Oliver died in the end of the first episode, which is nuts. Like,
right.
And they were basically like, yeah, you expected him to die, but you didn't expect him to die that quick.
Yeah. Let's set the table here. Oliver, we knew that Arrow is on his last season. They're going to do a spinoff called Green Arrow and the Black Canaries or whatever.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't keep track of all this shit. So they're doing a spinoff? Is it going to be his daughter?
They're working on the spinoff. They haven't said anything about it. It's probably going to be his daughter.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be Laurel and the other Black Canary, whose name is escapes me right now, who's on the show, who's currently the chief of police. They've all had amazing glow ups in this past season from being like vigilantes. Like,
yeah.
It's just Wild Dog is like working with the with the mayor's office.
Mm-hmm.
Black Canary is like the DA. Laura's a DA. Like, all of you were in jail at least twice. How did this? Whatever.
Yeah,
anyway.
You're all doing great.
Yeah, they're doing awesome. So, so basically, they're gonna end Arrow and they're going to do this spinoff. And we knew, like, all right, we might lose Oliver. We're probably gonna lose Oliver. Stephen Amell did his tearful goodbye when they filmed the last scene of Arrow, but you know him. You know Stephen Amell. He's all about the surprise. He's all about the twist. He plays it close to the vest. They killed Ollie and they haven't brought him back. In fact, they pretty much solidified that he's not going to be a factor anymore.
Right. So that so they kill him off in the first episode.
Right.
And then they bring him back in the Lazarus pit.
Which is always.
And they go to get his soul.
Yeah.
And then they bring in Spectre.
Mm-hmm.
Which I was like, okay, so was there any explanation? Because Oliver seemed to understand.
Well, Oliver had been in the afterlife for a bit now. Like his soul had been in the afterlife already. And Spectre... When? Well, I'm saying, like, from the time that they killed him to the time that they brought him back with the Lazarus pit, gotcha. A couple of days had passed. Like, that body was kind of stinky. So he was there. And who knows how time moves in the afterlife, in purgatory or whatever, too. That's kind of
Inspector. I was like, what the fuck?
Right.
Like, yeah.
Right. Like that's where shit kind of like got off the rails. For John Corrigan to show up, I'm like, man, they trust this audience, and that's kind of cool, With the whole Lucifer cameo, something that I didn't notice that some eagle-eyed people pointed out is on Earth 666, appropriately. There was they showed like a cityscape. It was Los Angeles, and there was all kind of neon signs and stuff like that. But they had a poster that said Watchmen on it. Like it was an HBO show on this Earth or something like that.
Okay.
So the Watchmen made it into the crossover, kicking and screaming as well. So.
Right.
And they made sure the next day to tweet a thank you to Dana Lindelof for that, because he's the showrunner for Watchmen. So yeah, it's official.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got a little bit of everything. My only thing with all this crossover business, now they bought in, of course, our favorite animated Batman. Are they going to do something like Supernatural did with Scooby-Doo and try to bring in some animation at some point? Like, somehow? I don't know.
Maybe.
Who knows?
I don't know. Anything. I feel like anything's possible with
Anything
these shows. Anything's possible. Yeah.
It's like, it's too much almost. But, you know, at the same time, in a good way. But at the same time, it's not enough. And I say that because it's odd. And I think this is the first time they've done it this way. They showed all 3 of the first episodes back to back to back, 3 nights in a row. That was like, what? Yesterday the last one came on? So December 10th?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So they showed...
What's today? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So they showed those 3. And the last 2 episodes are going to be an episode of Green Arrow, which we don't know what's going to be left of the show for the second half of the season now that Ollie's gone. And then the season premiere of Legends of Tomorrow. But those don't come on until January 14th.
Yeah, bud. We gotta wait?
We gotta wait. But in the meantime, they're doing something unique yet again, which is they're releasing a special, comic tie-in that features Felicity that's only going to be available at Walmart.
I'm not going to read it because I don't want to go to Walmart.
Yeah, those suck, man, because you can't even buy them online. You physically have to go into a Walmart to buy these 100-page giants.
Yeah. That's a hard pass for me, bud.
That's a hard pass. But if anybody wants to go to Walmart and pick me one up, please let me know.
I mean, yeah, if someone wants to send us copies, sure.
You got our P.O. box. It's right there on the Instagram page. Hit us up with a copy.
Yeah, send us
a copy.
Comics.
I mean, people are Christmas shopping. Your travels may lead you into a Walmart, whether you want to be or not. So if you see it and you pick it up, send it to us. We'll appreciate it immensely. So yeah, there's a lot going on. A whole lot going on.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what I'm trying to go through. I thought Supergirl was great. I think the Batwoman Supergirl dynamic has been fantastic.
Yeah.
So well done.
Yeah. And I like Supergirl's pants. I like her costume now.
Agreed. Her costume's great. Their dynamic is great. I'm trying to go through all. I really like Mia. We've talked about that. His daughter. I think she's great.
Yeah, she was a scene stealer. She was great with her delivery of just lines, just pointing out okay, this is kind of weird. Sure, all right, whatever. Just the actress is well cast, and they did. She's a good fit for the show.
Yeah. So now I don't know where they go from here. It's nuts.
Man, I'm excited. I'm still excited for it. I'm just disappointed we got to wait so long. But
I was shocked that they killed off Brandon Routh's Superman too.
Well, I mean,
that we know of.
He's gonna be back. There's no doubt about it.
Right. But as of now, his Superman is dead.
Yeah, he's off the table.
Right.
And that's their heavy. So they replaced their heavy with Lex Luthor. So, yeah. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I completely glossed over this. So something that's kind of bugging me, and I don't know if the answer lies on Supergirl. You're way more caught up with it than I am.
Sure.
Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he turn into Martian Manhunter ever?
God. He has on the show, and there's a reason for it. I can't remember.
Does it hurt? It must be painful or something, right?
Let's find out. I'm gonna look it up.
So I'll talk while you do that. So basically on the on the cartoon, I believe, or in different iterations of, Martian Manhunter, John Jones, they've alluded to the fact that maintaining that human form is difficult for him to do because it's just so intricate. Whereas being, being the Martian Manhunter, in that form is a little bit easier, but even that's not his true form. He's got like a monstrous form monstrous to us, to our human minds and brains. Minds and brains is the same thing. Just we see it as monstrous, but it's their natural state. That's all I'm getting at. So I'm curious why he decides to just be a dude in an aviator coat.
God, I can't, because they have suited him up as this several times.
Yeah, but I want to say that was like close to the beginning of Supergirl.
Now I'm trying to find it. I'm wondering if it's like a budget thing, to be honest. That's what I'm...
I would hate for that to be the answer, because with how much they're blowing on the budget with like the hundreds of demons flying around and all the super people and all the arrows being shot off, you'd think they'd be able to kick some cash down and put some green paint on the boy. But I also think it's just a practicality thing too, because getting painted green head to toe, even with a CG assistant, that's got to be a long day for him. And going from show to show in that green paint, being driven around all of Los Angeles to record all your cameos on these different shows, that's got to suck.
Yeah.
It's just got to be a practicality thing. It's got to be it.
Man. This is this is really like there's first of all, these Wikipedia page, whoever's writing you guys are extensive. Like,
yeah, there's so much to absorb in this crossover. I think people really aren't paying too much attention to that, and that's why it hit me at the end of our conversation about Crisis too, because there's just so much.
It does say that that like he can change his form at will. But he's had issues. It says due to the fact that he was retaining his powers, he couldn't pass biometric scans.
Oh.
So
okay.
Like, and he couldn't like get into certain areas with like fingerprints and stuff like that. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's not enough of an explanation for me right now. So.
We're gonna have to dig into it. I guess we'll come back.
Maybe this is it.
Okay. Fire. Fire's one.
Yeah. I was just hoping that like they would explain it, but I don't see it.
It's always funny when they put weaknesses for people and stuff like that, and it's like fire. It's like everybody's weak to fire. I'm weak to fire. That's one of my weaknesses.
Yeah.
Getting stabbed in the face. That is a weakness for me. Yes.
Yeah. Like, okay, I'm scared of the thing that will burn me alive. Is that not rational?
Martians are scared of fire. Yeah, you know who else is? Everybody. Everyone else in existence.
Frankenstein is scared of fire. Yeah, no shit. No
right.
shit.
Go ahead and wave a torch in front of somebody else's face to see what happens.
Right. Those goddamn pitchforks. No wonder he's scared.
Right.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, that's a lot. Thank you guys for bearing with us. We are so excited about this. It's amazing. It's amazing. Welcome back.
Yeah, it's very well done. I feel like you can watch it even if you haven't caught up. Or, I mean, like, yeah, you're going to know some things if you go back and watch all these other shows. But I feel like it's worth it. Just go and experience it. Like, it's a really cool thing that they're doing.
The production is just off the chain. It is off the hook. It's great.
Everyone involved with this, no matter what they're doing on these shows, should be so proud of their involvement because they're doing a hell of a job.
Yeah, and it's actually great to see some of the faces behind these shows too. Like I didn't know there was
behind the scenes videos that they've been playing.
Yeah, that and just the interviews that Kevin Smith's been doing. I didn't know there was a black person as the showrunner of The Flash. Mm-hmm. That's kind of dope.
Yeah.
And it explains how they get a lot of stuff so, right on that show.
Yeah.
Just before we move on from the DC stuff, and I'm so sorry, but I gotta give special love to Joe West on the show,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that Jesse Martin, he's just an amazing performer. He's always done a great job on The Flash, but the knowledge that his adopted son is about to give his life up, like he wears it on his face. So much so that there were so many episodes this past season where I'm like, man, he really seems like he's just like either tired or just sad about something. And, all the other characters are trying to deal with it in their own way, and they kind of have their quirks and they have time to laugh. But Joe has just been like riddled just with anguish about this.
Yeah, he's messed up.
And
it's crazy.
Yeah. And it's just a great performance by Jesse L. Martin. So I just got to give special credit to him.
He's like a Broadway dude and everything, right? Like he's
absolutely.
A very talented actor.
Very talented, great singer. He's the dad.
Yeah.
He's a great dad. So, all right, let's move on. Let's talk about something else.
How do we? Okay, I guess I guess we'll keep talking DC a little bit. The Wonder Woman trailer.
Yeah. So what do you think about that?
Talk about like both of these trailer notes that we have. So, oh my God, that Wonder Woman looks so good.
It does.
Holy
it really does.
Shit.
There's so many questions that I have about it, and I'm excited. You said what?
That's the best part. Like that it's like it leaves you with all those questions and wanting more.
That's right. And she actually completes the trinity of Kingdom Come designs that we've seen, because in the trailer we get to see her in the full like golden eagle garb with the wings coming out the back. It's just glorious. I love it.
Oh my God, so good. I mean, I'm in love with this franchise. I don't really give a shit what else happens in the DC universe as long as we keep getting these Wonder Woman movies. Like,
I don't think
throw all of the money at Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot and let them keep making these movies.
I mean, there's room for all of them to exist, and I understand there's a fan base for all of them.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm rooting for them. I'm like, give me this.
Well, I was gonna say there's space for all of them, even Aquaman. So it's fine.
He can have his vision.
Everybody has their favorite. Everybody has who they're rooting for. I'm rooting for all of them. Even the Birds of Prey movie coming up. I'm excited to see what they do with that. I'm excited to see.
You know what I realized as I was watching the Birds of Prey trailer during the Crisis crossovers? I was like, oh fuck, I'm just in love with Margot Robbie.
Yeah,
and that's why I'm super excited about this movie.
And sometimes that's all it takes.
It's just her. Like watching her on screen, she's so good.
Yeah, you're right.
You're just like, damn.
It's amazing. Like, all DC had to do.
Sorry, just real quick. Did you see I, Tonya?
I haven't watched it since we talked about it.
Yeah.
But I am going to check it out.
She's going to win an Oscar for something at some point.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I'm surprised she didn't win an Oscar for Wolf of Wall Street. She was great in that.
Oh my God, so good.
And you still haven't watched Focus yet, have you? The movie with her and Will Smith, where they're...
No, I haven't. I haven't seen it.
Man. I love her in that. Like, really, that's the movie that made me pay attention to her. I love it. But what I was going to say is, like, it's amazing that DC is doing so well. Like, they're putting so many numbers up on the board just by uncoupling from the idea that they have to build a universe.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah, just make good movies. That's all.
Don't worry about how it fits in with this, how it fits in with that. I mean, if anything, Crisis is like celebrating how many different directions these characters have gone in, and they're able to like tie them all together because people want to believe. People want to just like go, okay, this is all part of some big quilt.
Right. Also, Crisis is proving that you already have a built-in extended universe. It's on television.
Right.
And movies can just be movies.
And I mean, that's,
like, don't ignore your television shows. They're amazing.
Yeah. Which, side note, I read today, unfortunately, that Marvel is shuttering the Marvel Studios television branch.
Not surprised.
Yeah, I mean,
that was happening already.
They weren't doing anything anyway.
That's very sad for all of the people that are working there.
Getting laid off. Yeah. Like Jeff Loeb.
Didn't he do that with Lucasfilm stuff too, with Disney takeover?
Yeah. They kind of put it all in house, but yeah, I mean, these people have really done some great work. We've got producers and showrunners, the folks that worked on Daredevil, of course, and Punisher, Jeff Loeb, who oversaw a lot of this stuff, including Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. All of it's getting rolled into the MCU branch. However, a lot of the stuff is getting canceled too. Stuff that's in production is going to continue because obviously they've already like put a lot of money into it. But that's one big reason why Ghost Rider was just so unceremoniously just canceled all of a sudden, because they knew that they weren't going to continue down this path. They weren't trying to grow this universe. So
yeah.
No need to put down roots if you're not going to stay.
Right.
So that's fine.
Like I understand that. I just don't think it was necessarily the right move, but whatever. Wonder Woman looks amazing. Kristen Wiig.
Yeah.
I'm just excited to see her in things because I haven't seen her in anything for a while.
It's been a long time. I mean, Kristen Wiig is interesting to me because comedically she's great. I enjoy her very much. Mm-hmm. She's a dancer. She's a serious actress.
Yeah.
Sky's the limit. It's just, having been away from her for so long now, it's like, all right, what version of Kristen are we going to see in this movie?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit of both. I think she's going to have her comedic moments, but it's going to be like dark comedy in the way that Michelle Pfeiffer was doing dark comedy when she was Catwoman.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that'll work. That'll be great,
I think that's what it's going to be. I think it's going to be like Catwoman.
I just don't want it to be like a Jim Carrey, where it's like, we hired Jim Carrey because we want Jim Carrey.
I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be more of like the Michelle Pfeiffer side of things than like that outlandish. Because that doesn't fit either. Like, Patty Jenkins is not going to direct her to do that either.
No, I sure hope not. I hope they're not trying to get that. Yeah, so that'll be interesting. When is that out? That's out next year at some point, obviously.
June. It's right around June, because I was like, oh, birthday.
Birthdays.
Every year I'm like, what's the birthday movie going to be? So it's going to be this one.
Yeah. So that's cool.
I think it's like the first week of June. So
that's cool. I guess they're moving right ahead with these Keanu Reeves movies too, apparently.
What Keanu Reeves?
I saw it was announced today. Well, we know that Bill and Ted 3 is happening soon. But what we weren't necessarily aware of necessarily is that Matrix 4 is becoming more and more a reality. So, these are actually coming out in 2021. John Wick 4 and Matrix 4 are both coming out on the same day, May 21st.
Shit. They're going to move that. They won't have Keanu opening up against Keanu, although that would be amazing to see. Holy shit.
One of them's going to flinch. But yeah, it would be cool if you get like,
what's flinch?
What's that?
John Wick. They'll flinch and put John Wick later or earlier or something.
I think you're right. I think that Warner Brothers is too stubborn.
They go up against the Matrix.
Yeah.
It's or the Matrix will be the one that moves, but it'll be a production thing because it's such a like big movie to make.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that they're calling that shot now, like, this is the day.
It's coming out. Wachowski's directing this new one?
I think Lana is.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see. I'm excited for both of those films. I know that we talked about Matrix 4 a while ago.
I'm very.
But I
excited.
think. Yeah, enough time has passed where it's like, okay, they learned a lot of lessons. I'm sure they've gotten a lot of feedback. And Sense8, I really enjoyed. So, the lessons that they learned about.
It's on my list.
Yeah, I mean, but, they've shown that they've grown as filmmakers. So, I can't wait to see how they bring those lessons to The Matrix and beyond. So
I think I've talked about how I liked Jupiter Ascending, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I thought that was a weird, cool movie that needed work, but it felt like I wanted to see more of that universe. Yeah. So I think that they can make it work. It might not hurt to have another like producer or screenwriter involved, though. That can kind of help reel them in when they get too like convoluted.
Yeah.
Because the first Matrix is a good, like, it explores philosophical ideas while also being a linear film. Like,
yes.
And they get kind of broken up after that.
Mm-hmm.
And they get mixed up and go on tangent. Like, they need someone to reel them in a little bit.
It tried to do so much, and one of the things that I was reminded that they said a long time ago, the Wachowskis, that they wanted The Matrix to live on not as sequels, but as other mediums. Right. So they put out, The Matrix Online, and they had the video games, and they were going to do comics and books and stuff like that. The Animatrix, we've talked about that a little bit too in the past. Like, those, to varying degrees, did extend the narrative, but of course, Warner wanted more movies as well, right, to keep the franchise alive, and that's fair.
The movies are what's going to really make them money.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's no money in comics and video games at the time. It's like, it's a gamble, to say the least. And the first 2 games they put out for the Matrix, they were kind of panned anyway.
Yeah.
One of them starring Jada Pinkett Smith's character, and the other one I think was supposed to focus on Neo. I didn't play either one of them, but
I didn't either. Yeah.
What was cool about the online game was that when it shut down, they treated it as there was a virus in the system. And all the characters across the board, whether you were brand new or tenured, you had like all the superpowers available in the game, so you could fly around and punch through walls and stuff like that. And then when they shut the servers down, the last message was not like this, not like this.
Oh my God, that's great.
Like, I got goosebumps just thinking about it. Like, that's so dark, but it's so great.
I'm sure that's on YouTube or something like that.
Yeah. It's always bittersweet seeing those. When servers shut down on MMOs and everybody kind of gathers around and just has like a little party to celebrate, It's kind of sad because you're losing your friends. You don't know if you'll be in the same place with these people ever again, virtually.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So the other big trailer that we got as far as franchises are concerned was the new Ghostbusters trailer.
Yes.
So what's interesting is this was a conflicting thing yet again. Okay. I saw quite a few people calling it out for not being a comedy. For being that, it did look more dramatic.
Sure.
This new trailer. So I guess it wasn't enough to completely eliminate women from Ghostbusters mythology.
Lex,
we also had to.
It's never going to be enough,
Oh, you think? Really?
Oh, God. It's never going to fucking be enough. And even if it is enough, they're still going to blame the women somehow. Like, oh, well, this is their fault. It's like Obama. It's always Obama's fault. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. This Ghostbusters movie, thanks, Obama.
I think it looks pretty good.
I think it does, too.
It looks like fun.
And, yeah, it does look like fun. I think
it does look more dramatic, though. I understand that, like, it does look like a darker reboot, almost.
It does. I almost wish at the end of the trailer they just would have put the words, "Are you happy now?" on the screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Coming out when we fucking feel like it. Are you happy now? Jesus Christ. And then just go black.
I mean, the 2016 Ghostbusters was a good comedy. So
it was. And I was, yeah, that's right. Fuck you, 2016. I was encouraged because when I went on Twitter and I delved into the comments beneath the trailer, I did see quite a few people sticking up for the 2016 one. And that was encouraging to see.
I think that we're getting two films that have been really panned because I think they portrayed women well or gave women voices or, were diversifying, was The Last Jedi and Ghostbusters 2016. And I think both of those films are like seeing their defenders come out now because I've been seeing a lot of people out defending The Last Jedi within the past year or so.
Right.
And I think the Ghostbusters thing is starting to happen as well.
And I mean, people are, you've seen the comments, I'm sure, about when Rian Johnson stepped down from the third one, or from 9 rather, and they brought back JJ in the announcement. You get the reaction from the actor saying, "Oh, I breathed a sigh of relief and I'm so happy." First of all, that's all just marketing BS that they have to say, to keep up appearances. Secondly,
they're in these, I don't think anyone understands what kind of press they're dealing with. So
what kind of press and what type of pressure? Because I was going to say, secondly, you get these, obviously you're hoping any change like this is going to decrease the amount of just fucking trolls you get.
Right.
I mean, these women shutting down their Twitter accounts and their Instagram, we've talked about it, but it sucks. But with the Ghostbusters trailer, there were some like cute moments in there. It's got funny moments, like, of course, with Finn Wolfhard involved, it definitely had the Stranger Things vibe to it, and that's what they were going for, and that's understandable because it's a hot property. Everybody wants to be the next Stranger Things, but Finn Wolfhard just can't seem to leave these small haunted towns. He's just cursed to forever be a teenager.
He seems cool with it.
Yeah, he gets away. Yeah, but he always gets pulled back in. Of course, hopefully everybody's seen the trailer. Hopefully nobody cares about the spoiler, but...
Oh my god, get over it.
Obviously, the lineage is there, being Egon's kids.
Yeah, because it's this daughter and son. They're both Egon's kids, right?
Well, his grandkids, rather. Like, his daughter, So, I'm hoping that means that we get Annie Potts as Janine showing up. That'd be cool.
Yeah. I think that Paul Rudd's going to be the villain, right?
Well...
No, I mean, I'm not saying anyone
like
knows
overall?
that. I'm not saying there's any reason to say that. I just think that seems like what it's going to end up being. Because he seems like the cool teacher in the episode, and I'm like, yeah, he's going to be evil. That's my guess. I have no evidence for this. It's just based off of the trailer.
What would be great is if they pulled a Kylo Ren and just made him like the obsessed fanboy for the Ghostbusters.
Oh my god! Yeah.
As the girl puts on the proton pack, he's like, "Oh no, you're not doing it right. This is my history. Let me do this. I know so much about them and all that bullshit." And then, turns out to be the
which was essentially like what The Last Jedi was doing so well, which is like, "Hey, look, this is toxic masculinity and toxic fandom."
It hit a little too close to home to some people.
Is literally toxic masculinity and toxic fandom of Darth Vader.
Right.
And people are like, "Fuck this movie." Let's go after the actors, the Asian actress in it. Let's do that. Wait, what? What are you doing?
He even dropped in the Ray's DMs, uninvited, unsolicited, half naked.
Cool. Too many dick pics. Not cool.
Any picture of Kylo Ren is a dick pic.
You know what? It wasn't dick pics. It was high-waisted pants. That's what he sent her. He sent her a series of high-waisted pants. He was like, "Hey, darling.
Hey, man.
Long time ago, a galaxy far, far away."
Look at it. Oh. I'm wet from water or sweat. I don't know, but yeah. What up?
Hey, how you doing?
There's a disturbance.
You up?
Yeah. It's 6 a.m. here. It's another galaxy. Oh, well, you up?
Yeah. But you messaged me back, so clearly you up.
Right. I see that read notification. I know.
Yeah.
So that's creepy. But the movie looks interesting. I'm kind of like disappointed that they leaned on Slimer again. Like, Jesus Christ, let that ghost just...
Yeah.
I'm not going to complain about that. That's just...
I haven't even seen it. I
haven't seen it. And I like Slimer. I don't know why. I'm just trying to find something to nitpick about. It's fine. I am cautiously optimistic. I'm not going to run out and see it, but I hope it does well, and I hope it's a good movie, so everybody can just go, fuck, this washes away the stank of Ghostbusters 2, finally. That's all I want. So, hopefully everybody gets what they want. Yeah.
I agree I'm not rushing out to see it, like the way I feel about Wonder Woman, but I want to see it.
Yeah, me too.
I was going to say, do you want to talk about that story of yours?
No, I think that's a little bit too much time has passed on. I'll wrap that up real quick. So basically, wrestling fans say homophobic shit sometimes to wrestlers, and finally one of them, Sami Zayn, who is Canadian and of Syrian descent, decided to speak up to one of these fans because he's the fucking shit. And we appreciate what Sami Zayn does. He's a pro wrestler, but he's got a mind for philanthropy as well. He often raises money for Syria to build mobile hospitals there. So if you see any links floating around Sammy for Syria, definitely check that out because he's a pretty cool dude. Him and Kevin Owens. They also raise money for like wildlife conservatories and all that sort of thing too. Just cool dudes that you wouldn't expect them to be as pro wrestlers. You expect them to be meatheads, but no, the meatheads are in the crowd. So giving us a bad name. Fuck off homophobes and racists. The end.
The end. Yeah.
The end. I got a cool book to review this week. Joe Hill, who you may know from Lock and Key, the comic, from the book Nosferatu that was narrated by Kate
Mulgrew.
Thank you, God, because you knew I was going to forget.
Yeah.
Kate Mulgrew. with a TV show recently that premiered on it wasn't on Hulu, it was on AMC, and it was excellent. I enjoyed it. Joe Hill wrote a book called Dying is Easy. It's a comic miniseries. It's about a stand-up comedian that decides to fight crime. So it's like your anti-Joker.
Yeah.
It's got a cool little story in there. It's very dark, very adult.
Okay.
As all of Joe Hill's writing is, but that's why we love him. Check it out. It's out now from IDW when you get a chance. I highly recommend.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So, real quick, Wall of Weird.
Wall of Weird.
All right. This one is crazy. This is out of BBC News.
Okay.
And this is from December 6th. So, it's a couple days ago. But this British woman, her heart stopped beating. And 6 hours later, she was brought back to life. 6 hours. Audrey Schumann developed severe hypothermia when she was caught in a snowstorm while hiking in Spanish Pyrenees with her husband in November. The doctors say it's the longest cardiac arrest ever recorded in Spain.
Wow.
So she's made a near full recovery after the ordeal, and she's like, I'm going to go hiking again in the spring. Which, by the way, what the fuck? Why are you not done with hiking?
Yeah, I'd give it a little bit of a rest.
Exactly.
To be sure.
So she's 34 years old, and she began having trouble speaking and moving during severe weather hiking, and she fell unconscious.
Wow.
Her condition worsened while waiting for emergency services, and her husband believed she was dead.
Man.
So they couldn't find a heartbeat, couldn't find a pulse. So rescue team arrived 2 hours later.
Fuck.
Her body temperature had fallen below 18 degrees Celsius. I don't know. Someone grab a calculator. I don't know. So she had no vital signs when she got to the hospital. So basically the temperature kept her alive. Like, she was in hypothermia, and that allowed her to have a chance to survive. The hypothermia protected her body and brain.
18 degrees Celsius is 64 degrees Fahrenheit.
Jesus. So
Yeah.
so because she was in hypothermia, her body and brain were not deteriorating while she was unconscious, even though she was like in cardiac arrest for a long period of time.
That's amazing. That was going to be my next question. Like, how did her brain react to this?
Because her body was so cold that it was basically protecting.
It was like she was in just stasis. That's
so this
crazy.
is what they did. They had a race against time. The doctors treated Mrs. Schumann with a specialized machine capable of removing blood, infusing it with oxygen, and then reintroducing it to the patient. Once her body had reached reached 30 degrees Celsius, they used a defibrillator to jumpstart her heart, which was some 6 hours after emergency services were contacted.
Wow.
Released from the hospital 12 days later. She only has some lingering issues with mobility and sensitivity in her hands due to hypothermia.
Holy crap.
So it's a weird story, but it's also like a good Wall of Weird story. Like, we have so many bad Wall of Weird stories. So this was
yeah. And it's amazing. I just like lowball it by calling it like an exceptional case. Like, no, dude.
Yeah, don't be dumb with hiking. There was someone who I follow on Instagram the other day. She posted a video of this woman who was out like running with her boyfriend, husband, whatever, and it was like snowing. She's like, it's great. Like, it's really nice. Like, the ground is so secure and so great and everything like that. You know, you get more traction this way, actually. It was like the actually type of moment from this like douchey runner. And then, the camera woman or the anchor woman, whatever, she goes, okay, cool. Well, you guys stay safe out there or whatever, and bye. And then they go running off, and the cameraman follows them, and then the woman falls flat on her ass.
Like, oh, right. Yes.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, you fucking idiot. Okay.
Like, yeah, I mean, obviously, everything in moderation.
Just don't be stupid when it comes to things like that, like hiking and stuff. Like, wow.
Yeah, I know some people live that life, but yeah, I mean, there's too much of everything, even good things.
Agreed.
Be careful out there.
Yeah. So we've got some more things to talk about, but we're going to move over and do a mini episode for our Patreon.
That's right. You should check out the Patreon, because we've got a lot of good mini episodes over there for you to listen to. Things that you haven't heard before if you haven't contributed yet.
Sorry.
You okay?
I was going to plug in my laptop, and that was the metal of my desk and the metal of the laptop charger. So, yeah.
Shit. You know what it sounded like? It's like when you plug in a lamp and the bulb just pops.
Oh, yeah.
And you just hear that like electrical just zoom, that's what it sounded like. I'm like, oh shit.
It's good. We're good.
Okay, good.
Yeah, patreon.com/LexandMatt for exclusive minis. We got stickers, we got merch, we got mugs, we got drugs. No, we don't have drugs. Mugs not.
No drugs.
No drugs.
Just, we got hugs,
Mugs and hugs.
Mugs and hugs.
Yeah, we got an offer to slap you in the face too. I mean, go look. I'm not lying.
That's the best hug of all. Check it out.
Yeah.
Well worth the
you
price.
warm for days.
For days. It'll sting like a motherfucker, but it's gonna be great. All right, folks. Thank you so much for listening.
Here's a quick preview for this week's mini episode. Pete Davidson. Grilled cheese. Piano. Subscribe.
Banjo. No, I'm kidding.
Banjo!
We've exhausted banjo talk. Yes, so subscribe to the Patreon. We love you, and you're the best.
Yeah, you're great. You're great little sweet chili babies.
All right, folks. I'm Matt Peters.
I'm Matt Lutz.
Be excellent to each other.